guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Stella Ray Herself podcast. It's me, Stella Ray herself. Thank you so much to everyone that's been listening and screenshotting and putting on your IG story and tweeting it to me. Honestly, it means a lot, and I just always feel like I'm literally talking shit by myself, and I don't know, I think it just always makes my day when someone is actually listening. It's just really cool. So thank you. I really appreciate everyone who does that. If you haven't, do it. And leave a comment if you're watching this on YouTube. Sometimes I get comments from people that are like, I never comment, but I wanted to say this. And I feel you, because I feel like, I don't know, I leave a lot of comments on TikTok. Like TikTok, I'm just like leaving comments on everything. But I feel you, because like on YouTube videos, I usually don't leave comments. But do it, let's all leave more comments. Let's open the discussion. And also just leaving comments on people's stuff just always feels good. Like I know if even a friend comments on one of my IGs or something, or like, someone, maybe like an acquaintance, it just always is like, aw. So let's make it a group effort to just comment more. For real. Because like myself too, I just always, when I think about it, I do it. Because I know it also helps the person out, especially on Instagram. I think it needs to be more than 3 words. Like if you leave just like an emoji, yeah, it'll make the person feel good. But I think for their analytics and whatnot, I think it's if you leave a comment with more than 3 words. I don't know, that could be a myth, but that's what I heard. Dude, I know I've talked about it, and I was tweeting about it the other day, which is why it's on my mind. But Instagram really fucked us over. And, on one hand, again, I think I have talked about this, but just kind of like talk about it again, to be honest. When Instagram first changed their algorithm from posts being shown in chronological order to just, I guess it's like whoever you interact with the most, their post will be shown. I went to this little Instagram seminar presentation thing because I was with the YouTube network at the time. It was like 2017 when they made that change. And they explained it, and it did kind of make sense. They were like, oh, now it's like you don't have to worry about what time you post because it will be shown to people at the best time for them. And it's like, okay, I get it now. It's like it can be the middle of the night and you can still post, and it kind of has the same effect. But I think if literally everyone, except maybe the top creators with millions of followers, if everyone's complaining about getting way less likes, way less engagement, and also just not being able to see everyone you follow's posts and stories, there's a problem. And I literally forget that I follow some people. I'm like, oh, did like they block me, or like have they been posting? And then I have to physically search them, and then it's like I haven't seen any of these posts. I haven't watched their story in months just because it never shows up. And like, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. So I feel like, maybe they had some kind of a good intention or good idea at the beginning, but it's just not working out. And I think it goes further than just like, oh, I want posts in chronological order. It's just like, stop hiding people's posts, especially, if someone is trying to build a brand or grow, it's like so hard to, because people just aren't going to see it. And then the less they see it, the less they're going to see it. And sometimes I'm like, I just want to delete my Instagram, because I'm like, I feel like I'm, putting effort into posting every day and like posting on my story and trying to like get things popping, and it just getting less likes, and like no one's seeing my shit, and I'm not seeing people's shit. Like I literally just see the same probably 5-10 people's posts and stories, and I follow almost 200 people, so it's like, it's just so annoying. And YouTube too, I feel like YouTube probably did something similar. My subscription box, like it used to be always, what was it recommended? But now my recommended is literally like, I'll watch one person's videos for a few days in a row, and that's the only video that's recommended, and then all the other recommended videos are just like, it seems like random stuff. And there's so many people I'm subscribed to that I just never see because it's not at the top. Whereas before, I feel like, do you remember when videos would just randomly be in like everyone's like next up or like recommended, or what was it called? I feel like it was not called recommended back then, like in 2016. But videos were just a lot more likely to gain traction because they would be shown to people who like weren't already fans. And now it's like someone either has to be a big fan or have post notifications on or something in order to see your stuff. So it's just really frustrating, and I just feel like it's really meant to keep top creators at the top and kind of like fuck everyone else, which makes sense because if you are a top creator, you're bringing the most, traffic, so your ads are going to get more money, therefore make the company more money. So it just, once again, we have another scam. But yeah, it's just been really frustrating. It used to be so easy to get likes on IG, and now it's like I barely get 1,000, and I used to get like 6,000, 7,000, like 9,000, 10,000, and now it's like maybe 1,000. It's like, bro, my IGs have only gone, like, I don't know. And then it's annoying because it's like you don't want to care about, like, I don't want to let a number define me or my worth or like my mood even, but it's just really frustrating when you know the cause of it and you know that they changed it. It's like not my fault. Yeah, so I just try to really detach and like, let me chill, I'm on my highest path. That was the past. Let me not compare to the past because things are always changing. Don't be too attached to the moment. Everything's connected. But yeah, we low-key have a lot to get into today. So I'm like, let's get started after that 7-minute long intro. Not sponsored, wish it was, but Dunkin' Donuts is still doing free iced coffee or hot coffee, but who wants that? Every Wednesday in July, but you just have to have the app, and it's really easy. And you get a birthday reward, so yeah, do it. This was the first time I ever tried something new. I put a French vanilla shot in my iced coffee with almond milk, and it was weird. I feel like French vanilla in general, it always kind of reminds me of like cigarettes, and I feel like that's because, I don't know if I just have a childhood memory of going to like somebody's house. I don't know if it was a family member or just, I don't know, but it was like that French vanilla, like fake vanilla smell, trying to mask like a cigarette smell, so it just always brings me back to that. And like leather, I don't know. So it was weird though, because apparently the flavor shots don't have sweetener in them, and it's not like Starbucks where you can be like, oh, I just want 1 pump or 2 pumps. Like they don't really do that, because like we're not supporting, but it's like sometimes you just want a little bit of sweet or a little bit of flavor. But let me know what you guys order from Dunkin', because it's almost about to be my birthday, bitch, and I heard you get a birthday drink, so I'm really excited. I want to try something new. Shout out to everyone whose birthday has been during the pandemic. It's looking like it's going to be all of us, so if you haven't had yours yet, or if your birthday was maybe in January or February, you're up next, sweetie. Yeah, what have you guys been doing for your birthdays? I think I'm probably just going to be with the few friends that I have been seeing. I've only been seeing the same, like, couple people this whole time, and probably just do that. Chill, get drunk, the fucking vibes. Then, like, do I vlog it? Like, I don't know. I put this in my vlog, too, so I don't want to, like, talk about it again. I was kind of talking about my birthday, but point being, let me know what you get from Dunkin'. Someone on Twitter, this girl asked me to talk about how the astrological signs basically were changing. I feel like they say this every year, like, oh, you're not actually a Libra, you're actually a Sagittarius, because NASA, changed. They found that it was wrong, it changed. And can I just say that looking this up, because I'd always kind of heard this, but none of the astrologers I follow and no reputable astrology websites have ever like said this was true. And my mom has never commented, and my mom's like astrology queen, so I've always just kind of been like, shut up. But someone asked me to talk about it, so I was like, okay, let me finally like look this up actually and just like see like what's the tea. And can I just say, I don't want to say it was hard to look this up, but I had to be kind of like, I don't know, I just had to take a little bit more of a second than I thought to phrase my Google search, because so many of the top articles that were coming up were like, yeah, it's fake because astrology is fake. It's like, okay, that's not why we're here. It's like, do you not believe in vibes? But I finally found a good article on AstroStyle, which if you've been listening to this podcast, this is one that I always seem to come back to, because I feel like they're not too like your horoscope for the day based on the sign, but they just write things very relatably. Like, I just feel like my understanding and level of astrology it's a little more advanced than just like turning to your horoscope in a magazine, but it's not like it would be kind of hard for me to read a chart without looking everything up. So I just feel like this kind of breaks things down in a very digestible way. But they finally just explained it, and I was like, okay, this is what people are talking about. So basically it was in 2016, and NASA said that they had changed the 12 zodiac signs because of a shift on Earth's axis. In the last 3,000 years since the zodiac system was first created, the sky has shifted because the Earth's axis, the North Pole, doesn't point in the same direction. So technically there's like a 13th star sign. But we can debunk this because astronomy and astrology are not the same. The actual constellations have shifted over the ages, but Western astrology follows a different system. And Western astrology is based on the apparent path of the sun as seen from our vantage point on Earth. That's why zodiac sign dates remain the same even as the heavens keep shifting. In 2nd century Alexandria, the tropical zodiac was created, which is a fixed system that is not affected by changes in the constellations or the Earth's axis. Wow. So you just have to think of like vibes, like think of people 3,000 years ago looking up into the stars. So yeah, astronomy and astrology are different, and your sign is what it is. Like, yeah, it just makes a lot more sense to me. But yeah, I just hate astrology's not real ass bitch, because it's like, why wouldn't you want to, like, I don't know, do whatever you want. I actually don't care. Before we get into more serious stuff, because I want to talk about my book, can we just talk about the different types of hangovers and how there's such a different variety? My favorite hangover is no hangover, obviously, but if I had to pick, I would definitely choose the kind of hangover where you wake up and you just kind of feel dehydrated, but you can like chug your water and like have coffee. You know, it's not like coffee's, I hate when coffee sounds too dehydrating after, like, I need the caffeine. I love when I can have an iced coffee and water and Pedialyte and like eat a big breakfast and then take a nap. Or like if I had to do something, you know, I could do it, but maybe I'd just be a little slow. But like, that's the best. I love a manageable hangover when, you know, it's planned efficiently. Like, I love a chill hangover like that on a Sunday where it's like I basically just have to do my laundry and like, yeah, that's the best. If we had to pick, that would be the best. For me, the absolute worst hangover, the kind of hangover when you've had too much sugar or you were drinking a huge margarita. Like, I remember back in the day when we could go out. This was like, I think when I first started going out, and it was like I kind of knew the vibes of like how to not get hungover, but I still just wanted the experience, or I would just like get what my friends were getting. There was this place that would have these huge Texas size, they call them frozen margaritas, and you could get them flavored. So we would get like mango, and they were literally huge, like bigger than your head. And it doesn't taste like alcohol, of course. You know, you go there on a hot day and you just drink this whole thing and like you throw up so much. But that kind of hangover is like all in your head. If you're not throwing up as well, it's at least going to be all in your head. You're going to wake up dizzy. You're going to have the spins. It's going to be hard to even just lie there and close your eyes, because you're going to feel like you're just like spinning out of control. That's the worst. And I think that's also the worst for me, because I pride myself on not really having sugar when I'm drinking because of that reason. Like, I just want to take shots. I just want to have my little drink with, like, on ice or with seltzer water, or, you know, if I'm drinking like hard seltzers. I pride myself on not, like, I don't need something sweet. Just give me a shot, you know? So I always just feel like, not only do I feel shitty, but I feel disappointed in myself. Like, wow, I know not to do this, and I still did it. That's like the worst, because that's like, it's hard to even just lie there and go back to sleep. Oh my God, I hate it so much. I hope to never feel like that again. When was the last time I felt like that? Like, I don't even know. But I hate that. And then we have the kind of hangover where you haven't eaten enough. And I think the last probably 2 times I threw up, which it's only been twice in probably the past like literally 9 months. But both those times were because, I was just taking shots. I wasn't having any sugar, nothing, but I didn't eat. And that's another thing where it's like, wow, I'm dumb. But sometimes I kind of can give myself a little bit of a break, because sometimes it's like I kind of eat before, and especially if you're drinking and then I'm drinking water, trying to stay hydrated, my stomach just like feels full. And especially if I'm also having like seltzer water or soda water or hard seltzers, the bubbles fill up my stomach, so I don't feel like I want to eat, and then I'm like drunk, so I don't know, I'm not always like so hungry, have like the drunk munchies. So this kind of hangover is just like, it's not in my head at all. I don't usually have a headache until maybe like way after, but I'm just throwing up, and like I can't keep anything down, can't even drink water. Like that sucks, but low key it's like I would rather have that than just the spins and be like dizzy. I hate that so much. Like I would rather just throw up. Oh my god. Yeah, I just really had to get that off my chest. But what other types of hangovers are there? I feel like for me those are the main 3. So my best hangover tips, or how to prevent a hangover, would be to just drink water after every drink. And especially, these days, if you're not going out, it's just so easy to like have a water bottle and just keep it by you, or have a cup of water and just keep filling it up. Because sometimes if you're like at a club or at a bar, it's like obnoxious to ask for water. So sometimes do you drink the water, but I mean, not like it applies these days, but drink a lot of water, eat, don't have sugar, don't get or make those big margaritas, and Pedialyte. And do you guys remember in like 2017, I would always talk about activated charcoal for like a hangover cure, and I just feel like I haven't had that in so long. I feel like the main thing you need is Pedialyte or just electrolytes. If you guys watched my Vegas birthday vlog last year, I'm literally just carrying around the Pedialyte, because especially if you're like out in the sun, oh my god, that's just so bad. The Pedialyte, chef's kiss, like amazing. I just really had to get that off my chest. So let me know what you're like, am I missing a type of hangover, But let me know. I should talk about levels of being drunk too, but maybe we'll save that for next time. Y'all, I'm so proud of myself, because I've been trying to actually get through this book, Lies My Teacher Told Me. And it's just been, I feel like as an adult, it's just so much harder to read. Which is like, not like physically read, but like finish a book or get through a book. And I've just really been putting my mind to it and reading, not every day, but most days, and just getting through it. I don't know if that's like, I know some of y'all can probably relate, but some of you will probably get a laugh at me. But I'm getting through this at, I think, a reasonable rate. What was the book I was reading? The trauma book. It took me forever to get through just because I wasn't picking it up. Like, I'm a fast reader. I've always been a good reader. But I guess just, dopamine detox. We just want to be on our phones and watch movies. As you get through this book, it kind of is in a linear timeline. So now we're getting to more current events, and there was a chapter about the Vietnam War, and then it was talking a lot about Iraq and 9/11 and the beginning of all of that, which is interesting because that's really what I grew up with, and I would just always hear about it and like kind of always knew that it was happening, but especially as a kid, it's not like you really know what's going on. So I guess taking the time to actually learn like the real truth. But this has been really interesting because the main point is basically that, there's history that was in the way back where no one was alive during that today. And then there's this history that has some overlap. So whether our parents were a part of it or our grandparents or even us, it's just so recent that we're not really taught about it in schools and whatnot because people are still around that lived through it. So there's going to be a lot more conflicting opinions, and they won't be able to just tie up history in this nice little bow, the American way of like, we're always progressing, we're always moving forward, and he keeps using this phrase called the international good guy. Everything America does, all the war we've had to go to was just to resolve peace, to just help those people from their government, help those people from whatever, it's just, yeah, okay, you can say that, but it's like literally it's always just about oil or like money or a conflict of interest. Objective scholarship does exist in history, which is why I risk words like truth and lies. Unfortunately, the passage of truth does not in itself foster objective scholarship. Mere chronological distance did not promote a more accurate depiction of Reconstruction. Because the facts about Reconstruction simply did not suit the modern experience of the nadir period, they lay mute during the early decades of the 20th century, overlooked by most historians. Historical perspective is thus not a byproduct of the passage of time. The social practices of the period where history is written largely determine that history's perspective on the past. Objective scholarship must be linked with a modern experience that permits it to prevail. So basically, we're just going to take whatever side is most convenient for us at the time and what fits in with how we're viewing things now. Then when they start talking about 9/11 and even how 9/11 is taught about now in schools, they really said like, oh, the World Trade Center is a symbol of world peace and individual dignity and the cooperation of men. But it was really just like stockbrokers and investment bankers that were there. The notion that terrorists attacked us because of our values, our freedoms, or our dedication to world peace is self-serving but shallow and inaccurate. Such thinking might be termed nationalist, but is hardly patriotic. Nationalism does not encourage us to critique our country and seek its betterment. Therefore, nationalism only serves us in the short run. In the long run, our nation needs citizens who question its policies rather than blindly saluting them. And the first chief of the CIA's Bin Laden unit agreed. He had been precise in telling America the reasons he is waging war on us. None of the reasons have anything to do with our freedom, liberty, and democracy, but everything to do with U.S. policies and actions in the Muslim world. He gives an example of one textbook that said, fighting for freedom and democracy. Throughout the nation's history, Americans have risked their lives to protect their freedoms and to fight for democracy both at home and abroad. When authors blandly treat our military history under the heading, fighting for freedom and democracy, they merely signal students that they will not be presenting a serious analysis. Leaving out the recent past ensures that students will take away little from their history courses that they can apply to our current world. It's like we're just blindly following this idea that, oh, we're like free, like they just throw these words around like freedom, democracy, helping the prosperity of our nation and others. And it's like, when you actually look at the facts, it's just not true. And I think, it just makes majority of people not really question the system. But even going back to what I learned at the beginning of this book, the first pilgrims, we're taught that they came here to discover a new world for others. But really, it's just like, they just wanted more opportunities to make money. Which, when you think about it, that just makes more sense. Like, it's like, yeah, you could see realistically, like, oh, okay, there's work over there, so I'm going to go for my family. Like, that's something that is still applicable today and still relatable today. You're going to go where the opportunities are versus, like, someone, put on a pedestal, or this idea put on a pedestal of, like, oh, I'm doing this for the freedom. It's like, okay, chill out. This isn't an action movie. This is real life. And if we could think of history as real life, and if we could relate to it and actually understand why people did things, I think it actually would prevent us from making mistakes or the same mistakes leading forward, because it's like you would understand, versus this scam of a progressive, we're always moving forward. Like, it's just not true. Like, we're literally, so many people just don't even have basic rights. And as I keep saying in every episode, but the pandemic is just really proving that. So just something to think about. And yeah, I think I only have like a chapter or two left in this book. So it doesn't really look like it, but most of this is like index. But so far I would really recommend it. And I think it's really important to read, especially at a time like this with the pandemic going on and all the protests going on and riots and everything. It's just, I think that just makes a lot of it make sense. And this has definitely inspired me to just read more. Like, I want to read more biographies, and just, I think it's so true what he said in this book, kind of the reoccurring theme of like a lot of kids find, and a lot of people just find history really boring because it is boring. Like, it's made just very simplistically, and these were the good guys and these were the bad guys, and bad things used to happen, but now they're good, and America is always fighting for our freedom, and we're always moving to a better society. It's like, that's great, but is that really true? And I guess learning the actual facts and whatnot, it's actually like, oh, this actually is applicable, which may seem like dumb, but it's like, I feel like when we just hear the same little story over and over, it's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. But to actually learn what actually happened and how it is still applies and affects today so much, that is what interests me, because again, it's like real. It's not this little like Disney fairy tale. So I would definitely recommend it. Again, I'm excited to finish it. Hopefully by next week I will have finished it completely. Also, I did want to talk about this, but I don't know. I just wanted to say that like the Naya Rivera thing is so sad, and I think like obviously we all know that that's just like fucked up and really sad, and I think it's always really sad to me when kids are involved, and just the fact that she was just there with her son, like that is really heartbreaking. What I really wanted to talk about is just how annoying people are, like just the fact that people started harassing like her Glee co-stars, or like people started attacking Big Sean for this song that apparently he made about her. I didn't know that song was about her. Is it even? Like, I don't know. It's like, okay, on one hand, I get that people are upset and emotional, especially if they were a fan of her, but to turn that into anger and to put that on people who weren't, like, it's not their fault that this happened. It's like, people really need to chill out. It's natural to be upset and heartbroken and just feel that grief, but to start attacking someone, and especially to start attacking someone for not posting about it, like as if that's the most important thing. Like on one hand, I get it. If you're a celebrity, it's like, okay, people are gonna kind of look to you to say something and look to you almost for guidance, or like, oh, like what do they have to say? Because, you know, you're in the public eye. But it's like, we can apply that to like issues going on in the world, not the death of someone that they were friends with, or that they worked with, or that they were close with. Like that is, it's just personal. Like it's not, you know, oh, why aren't you posting about like the protests that are going on? It's like, no, like their friend passed away and you're going to attack them for not rushing straight to social media and saying something. Like that's just so fucked up to me. And I think people just need to remember that like life exists outside of social media. And again, that's not to say that people, especially celebrities, shouldn't speak on important issues, but I think, again, it's like, if their friend passes away, why are you going to attack them for not, like, that would be the last thing on my mind, is like, what am I going to tweet? Like, especially when it's this close after it happened and they announced that, like, they confirmed that it was her, like, that. Yeah, so I just felt really sad because it's fucked up, but then just seeing people's reactions, it's just like, yeah. And luckily it's like I didn't actually see anyone's reactions like that. I just heard about it because I don't follow anyone who would do such a thing. But I just had to bring that up because it's just like people appall me sometimes sometimes I think there's like an earthquake, but it's just like my brain. But yeah, like with how down they are, and just like, it's like, think about it, like, have some emotional intelligence. I think it's very normal for grief to turn into anger, but take some breaths and like take a step back from social media, first of all. Yeah, I don't know. It blows my mind. And I guess that kind of goes into cancel culture. I don't know. How do you guys feel about cancel culture? Because I just feel like it's not even a real thing. Like, it's a real thing for someone to say something fucked up, or someone to find something about someone's past, and everyone attacks them for like a few days or like a week on Twitter, and then everyone forgets about it. Their fans go back to supporting them and they're doing fine. I just feel like we see that a lot with like especially YouTubers and celebrities and artists, because it's like, okay, everyone's gonna cyberbully them and then it's back to normal. So yeah, I just feel like there's a difference between there's different levels, you know. Sometimes I'm like, everyone needs to chill out. Sometimes, you know, stuff happened so long ago, it's like you're really just digging at this point, and like the person that they are today really does not reflect what you're trying to make this be. But then there's people like Jeffree Star who like just, how do you even feel comfortable showing your face? You know, it's like, oh, I've changed versus like people did. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's different levels. So the video stopped. Unfortunately, I ran out of space. So we're just going to have to be like, oh, to listen to the rest, click the link down below. But yeah, that's just, I don't know. Like, I just feel like I don't have an opinion because I'm not like, oh, it's good or oh, it's bad. Like, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It's like, doesn't seem real. Like, it just seems like everyone's cyberbullies. Like, if you actually wanted to cancel somebody, you wouldn't give them that much attention and you would just like actually stop supporting them. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts because I just feel like that's literally all my thoughts. Just like, oh yeah. Just stop giving people who don't deserve it like views. Like, stop. Just stop. So I guess that's all I'm going to talk about today. I don't know. The camera ran out of batteries and I'm just kind of like, what is my life now? I don't know. But let me know what your thoughts are on any of this down below, and also let me know what you would like me to discuss in next week's episode or in future episodes. I'm always down to have a discussion. So yeah, let me know. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you guys next week. Bye everyone.